Hey guys, Jason here. The primary messages from the videos I felt like were, one is that we can promote things really fast, good or bad. They showed how somebody that, made a basement or a video in their basement could top, be promoted and watched more than somebody who was a professional, doing this for a living, making commercials or whatever it may be. Another thing is, I thought it was interesting about the loss of community, but also the deep connection, because you can feel a little bit of a loss because you're not face to face with anybody, you're staring into a camera, but also that because maybe you're a little more true sometimes, you can feel more deeply connected. I thought that was an interesting little part of the video, and I liked how we're all producers, which is true. I feel like everybody in some way is not bringing out the full truth in themselves on a video. I can relate to some of the stuff, like the bomb Iran, where McCain was joking about that. And he says when veterans get together, we joke about other things. As a former U.S. Marine, I could say, yeah, there's some things we joke about where the public would really, frown upon. You'd have to be there to understand it, but I could see how something like that could, be videotaped without you knowing it, and all of a sudden it's all over the internet and you're in trouble or out of a job as a teacher because of something you did that really meant no harm. The fake vlogs, I understand. I can relate to that. I feel like I've never met the teachers or the class, so, in a regular class, a lot of times I will listen to a teacher, I can kind of get their views, and then I can skew, like if I'm writing a paper, maybe a little bit more to match their views just to try to help my grade some. Here, just a big guess. Never met any of the teachers or any of the class. Some of the implications obviously are, be careful about what you post or say, because it could very easily, be spread, even if it's not worldwide in your local community. Somebody could record you at the park as a teacher, and then maybe they don't like something that happened in class, and all of a sudden you're all over the local area or national getting in trouble for something that probably was harmless. My next thing is my podcast I listened to was Facts to Blow Your Mind, Saturn's Brood. A little bit dry when they were speaking, but very informational. Talks about how Saturn has a liquid metallic hydrogen core. If you don't know what that is, go look up liquid metallic hydrogen. It's actually some pretty cool stuff. Obviously, it won't exist here on Earth except maybe in a lab. We can't produce that here, but with our conditions. Saturn had 53 moons that are confirmed, and they are waiting for 9 more to be confirmed. The ice rings you see around Saturn, although they're extremely wide, most of the time they're only about, like they said, 10 meters thick, so 30 feet thick, and that's why at certain times of the year or for a long time, we didn't know they had the rings at one point. We're talking hundreds of years ago, but because you had to look at the rings at the right time, kind of like looking at the brim of a hat. If you're looking from up above, you can see the whole thing. If you're looking from the side, it looks very thin and it's hard to see. There's one moon on Saturn that has an atmosphere and rain and everything just like Earth. They say its pressure on the surface would be about like being 12 to 15 feet underwater, but the difference is on that planet it's so cold, I believe, or that moon, I apologize, it's so cold it's about 250 degrees below zero, and the water there is so hard it actually acts like the rock on Earth, where it basically becomes geysers or volcanoes, whatever you want to call it, and methane is the water and the rain there. And there are some theories that H2O, or liquid water, is not the only way life could form. They think that maybe life can form in that liquid is the main compound, and then of course carbon-based material, which they have both on that moon. So that's one of the things that in the future some scientists would like to find or look for, see if there's ever been life on that planet, any sort of carbon-based life, but instead of liquid water, it would be a methane-based. And then if that's the case, we should be able to find life everywhere. The Web 2.0 in the classroom, I think it's great to be able to be at home, find a website, store it to a cloud or wherever, bam, be able to pull it up on my computer at school the next day if I need to. Another thing I think would be nice about it is you can create videos and stuff like that. So I think, we could use it to like create videos for the class or with the class that on projects we are currently working on, trying to keep them engaged. Also, I think that I could see in the future where if as a teacher and I'm doing a lesson plan maybe, and I don't know, say I'm going to be gone for an event, you could videotape yourself at home and then have your substitute play that video at class the next day so that the lesson is taught the way you want it to be taught instead of just having a random substitute who may or may not know the subject teach it to your students. Another thing that's really convenient, I think, about it is like something like Skype. I think that'd be really convenient for teachers to be able to teach a student and maybe from home and not actually be there. The school I actually live in right now, or the school district I live in, small town, and has had 2 paraeducators actually get in trouble for doing things with the students that they shouldn't be doing. And so, that's one thing that I, as a basketball coach in the same community, am really careful about. Is I try to stay. I never go one-on-one with a student, but if somebody wants to learn or wants to ask questions, I feel like Skype would be a very good way to do that to keep both parties safe. Should social networking be allowed in the classroom? I think limited, maybe. I have mixed feelings on it. I could see where like YouTube could be great for some research and stuff like that. Maybe if you're trying to learn things, there's so many videos out there now to learn. But also I feel like if your students have easy access to it, then it's really easy for somebody to say be hateful. So if they have a video out, your class puts a video out, and somebody starts, typing away, oh, you guys are dumb, you guys are stupid, you may bring down the morale of your class. For some video you built and put on YouTube by some person that's in New York because they feel safe to say this because they're behind the safety of their own computer thousands of miles away. I use the bookmarking app Reddit, and I felt like it was extremely easy to use. Just go to the homepage, tell it you want to upload a link, copy the link, paste it in there. You can write a little note on the bottom, make a little comment about what that link's about, and click save. Extremely easy. The buttons to click are all in blue, which don't look like any of the other buttons on the screen. Makes it super easy to follow, super easy to do. So yeah, I would, and it's something I would see myself using in the future. I'll probably save websites to it that I want in the future that I don't use a lot, but I want to be able to go back to. All right, guys, and that's it.